Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Reverend Candace Shibata. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I thank you for joining us for this very special occasion as we celebrate Gotan-e, the birth of our founder, Shinran Shonin. We have our Hatsumairi, which is an infant first Buddhist service. And of course, we are celebrating all of our wonderful parents for Parents' Day as well. We're so fortunate to have at least one baby who's joining us for her very first service. And of course, our guest speaker, Reverend Caitlin Masher-Mace from the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple. And so we'll learn a little bit more about Caitlin Sensei, but of course I want to be able to welcome you to prepare your home ubutsudans or home altars as well so that you can fully participate with us at home. And let me go ahead and share my screen so that we can all fully participate as well with all of the materials conveniently placed here on the screen for you. Okay, so again, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so with every service, we begin with the kansho, or the tolling of the bell. And this tolling of the bell is, again, a good signal for us to be present in this one and only moment that we have together for this Sunday. Of course, we'll gather on next Sundays. However, this is a precious moment, especially for this wonderful observance, all of these different special occasions today. And so please sit with me, calm your minds and calm your bodies so that you can be ready to hear and receive the Buddha Dharma. Okay? Okay, so we'll continue the service with the opening meditation prepared by Mrs. Darlene Bagshaw. Please join me in Gassho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Thank you, Darlene, for that wonderful slideshow, as always. It's always nice to see another temple featured, and of course, especially today to celebrate all of the parental people in our life, our parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, who are like our parents, adopted parents, and so forth. And so thank you so much, Darlene, for featuring that beautiful slideshow. Okay, so we'll continue the service with the chanting of Sambujo. And again, Sambujo is a hymn called Three Respectful Callings. And we call upon Amida Buddha, the historical Shakyamuni Buddha who lived in India, and the Buddhas of the 10 directions to be present today. And with each calling, we respond with the words Sange Raku. And this is an indication that we're welcoming them with joy. This will be followed by the Hyobyakumon, or the dedication or declaration of the purpose of why we're gathered here today. Okay, so please take a moment to chant Sambujo with me at home. Bujo Ida Nyodai Iudo Jo Son Ge Da Ku Bujo Shaka Nyodai Niudo Jo San Ge Da Ku Bujo Jibon Nyodai Niudo Jo San Ge Da Ku We observe in thankfulness the presence of Shinran Shonin into our world. May his entrusting heart and mind lead us to entrust ourselves in the great compassion so that we, too, may lead a life of joy, humility, and gratitude. Please join me in Gassho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, so let me share my screen one last time. And so I wanted to allow Casey to get ready if she needs a little time. But we do have a Hatsumairi presentation. And again, this is an infant's first Buddhist service. And again, we're so fortunate to have one infant join us today. And let's see, Darlene, if you can, include another spotlight for Casey Ogata-chan. Okay. Thank you. Okay. And Casey, is it okay? Can you unmute a little bit? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
So, and we have Casey Ogata-chan and her daughter, Zelda Kozue-chan. Unfortunately, Dad, Thien-chan, he couldn't join us today since he's working, but big brother Ken, he's joining us today. And so we're so pleased to have your family join us. And what I would like to do, so Zelda has her little Manto Shikisho and her little Onenju, which I was able to deliver to their family. And what I wanted to do was to do our declaration or dedication of this part of the service. Okay. And then we'll have Casey. You can join me to take this vow as guiding your daughter in the Buddhist faith. Okay. We are fortunate to be in this world where it is difficult to be born. We are truly grateful to be able to hear the teachings of Amida Buddha and enjoy the wisdom and compassion. Just as Queen Maya held the future baby in her arms on the fair morning in Lumbini's garden, today, Casey, you hold a future Buddha. The seeds of enlightenment are present in every person born. But more than ever during these tender, formative years, do the seeds require the kindness, patience, truthfulness, and wisdom of parental guidance. May you, through your firm faith embraced in Amida Buddha, guide the growth of Zelda with your steady and unfailing hands, that she may realize her own wisdom and compassion. Okay, so Casey, if you can repeat after me.
Sure.
I make this solemn vow
I make the solemn vow
to do all in my power
to do all in my power
to guide the spiritual growth
to guide the spiritual growth
of my child, Zelda Kozue-chan,
Zelda Kozue-chan,
according to the high ideals
according to the high ideals
as set forth in the teachings of the Buddha.
in the teachings of the Buddha.
Please join me in Gassho. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namu Amida Butsu.
Namo.
Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, and I wanted to read the certificate that was given to baby Zelda. And so this is a certificate of infant presentation, the Hatsumairi ceremony. This is to certify that Zelda Kozue-chan has come before the altar of Amida Buddha, the most honored one, the supremely awakened one, the all-compassionate one, to receive the truth of wisdom and compassion as a guiding force in life. Namu Amida Butsu, and it was signed by me today's date. So everybody, if you can welcome me in congratulating the Tran family and of course baby Zelda, as this is her very first Buddhist service. So please welcome me in congratulating the Tran family. Yay! Thank you so much for joining us, and she's adorable.
Yeah, she fell asleep. Sorry.
Oh, that's good. Casey, do you want to offer any words? And especially say hello to your family if they're on today too.
Thank you everyone who was able to attend. I appreciate it. And I just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to hopefully as the COVID and pandemic gets better to continue to bring her into the Jodo Shinshu Buddhism faith as I was raised in it. And I'm glad that she could have her first little service at a month and a half old via Zoom with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. And yes, she was born in the very beginning of April, so she's teeny tiny still. But
Yes.
yeah, so we appreciate, I'm sure, despite your very busy schedule, that you were able to join us today. And thank you to all of the Ogata and Tran families for joining us as well today. Thank you,
Thank
Casey.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll continue the service, and let me share my screen for all of you. Okay, so in the Buddhist Church of Stockton fashion, we are chanting a little bit of Shoshinge, but of course, since we do have our guest speaker and we had a lot of beautiful presentations today, we'll just chant a short portion of Shoshinge, and this is verses 1 through 6, and this will also include the Nembutsu and Echo. So the Nembutsu, the Namu Amida Butsu at the end, and the Gani Shikudoku that we're so used to doing. Okay, so please join me in the chanting of verses 1 through 6 of Shoshinge. Kimyo muryo junyorai Namo fukashi giko Ozo bosatsu niji Sai seiji sai obusho Token shobutsu jodoin Kokudo ninde shizemak Koryumu joshu shogan Chōtsuke udai guzen Koko shi yui shi shoju Jusei myo shomon jipo Fuho muryo muhenko Muge mutai koe no Shoujo kagi chieko Fudanan jimu shoko Chonichi ga shoji setsu Isai gunjo mukosho Honga myogo shoujo go Shishin shingyo ganin Choto gakusho dainehan Hishimetsu do ganjo ju Myodai shoi koshusei Yui setsu mida hongan kai Gojoku wakuji gunjo kai Oshin yodai ryojitsu gon Namandabu 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 Gani shikudoku Pyodo seisai Don mo daishin Ojo Namanda butsu namanda butsu namanda butsu namanda butsu namanda butsu namanda butsu. Thank you so much for chanting with me. Shoshinge, I forgot to mention that it's really important for us to chant it, or at least a portion of it, today, because it is Shinran Shoning's birthday, our founder. And this was his a major text or major writing. And we also chanted at Honko, the day in which we observe his passing. And in Kyoto, Japan, they chant this text every day, every day. And so if you ever have a chance to go to Nishihonganji, our home temple in Kyoto, Japan, you'll be able to hear so many beautiful voices chanting this every day. It's fairly early. I think it's at 6 or 6:30, but it's a wonderful opportunity. So I encourage you to do so whenever you have an opportunity. Okay, so we'll continue our service with the reading of the Golden Chain, and this will be led by Dharma School student Emily Wong.
Please put your hands together in Gasho. I am a link in Amita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace.
Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Okay, thank you so much, Emily. That was read so beautifully. I always appreciate all of our Dharma School students lending a hand. And this is my opportunity before we have our Dharma message, but this is my opportunity to properly introduce our guest speaker. And I'm so pleased to have Reverend Caitlin Masher-Mace join us today. And actually, I had seen a lot of Sensei's videos, and Caitlin Sensei is pretty much a YouTube star. So we're so honored to have her with us. And if you haven't seen, and I should have shown one of Caitlin Sensei's videos, but she features videos quite frequently about so many things that our congregation, our Sangha, might be interested in. And it's called, is it Dharma Minute?
Your Temple Minute.
Your Temple Minute, your Temple
Yeah,
Minute. And
yeah.
so it might be a minute, a few minutes, but Sensei features so many different things. Like the first one I think I remember watching was obupan, how to make obupan and the importance and the symbolism of offering obupan or the rice. And then even so many things up on the altar. And this is actually a passion of Caitlin Sensei's. But I wanted to just kind of read just a little bit about Sensei before we ask her to offer her Dharma message. And so Reverend Caitlin Kongo Masher-Mace is a Kaikyo Shiho. So that's a assistant minister, and currently serving at the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple. And some of you may know that my uncle Mike Shibata is from the Denver area as well, and participated at the temple too. And so she received her Tokudo ordination, so first level of ordination in 2019 at the Nishihonganji, as I mentioned, in Kyoto, Japan, and is currently finishing her Master's of Divinity at the Institute of Buddhist Studies. And when she's not working at the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple, she works part-time as a 911 paramedic in the Denver metro area, and also plays Australian rules football, and is it Gaelic football? Competitively. And so although Caitlin Sensei grew up in a Christian family, she was able to find her path as a Nembutsu follower, and was able to work and actually learn from my friend and colleague, Reverend Diana Thompson, and was able to work with Diana Sensei and Imada Sensei as well, who's currently serving in Denver. And so many wonderful things. And maybe Sensei, I don't know if you're going into it, so I don't want to steal your flame about maybe some of your other passions in engineering and science. So I don't know if you're talking about that, but it has Caitlin Sensei has a wonderful, very diverse career background. And Caitlin Sensei and her wife are currently living in Centennial, Colorado.
Yep.
And so, yeah. But without further ado, I wanted to invite you to give your message. And then, of course, if you'd like to feature any of these other wonderful attributes of your career or your interests, please do so in
Sure.
your Dharma message. Okay, so thank you, Sensei, for joining us. And we welcome you, of course, from the Buddhist Church of Stockton, Buddhist Church of Lodi, and the Walnut Grove Buddhist Church as well. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. And before I start, first apologize. I had to do some switching from my computer to my phone. We're having a board meeting right now here at the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple, and every board member decided to get on the internet at the same time.
Oh, no.
So I lost connection, so we're now doing my cell phone. That's okay, though. My name is Reverend Caitlin Kongo Master Mace. I am the Kaikyoshi Ho Assistant Minister here at the Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temple. I've been serving in the Kaikyoshi Ho capacity since March of 2021. Also the head of media and productions here at TSDBT as well. And I am just so grateful of both Reverend Shibata and of the Stockton, Lodi, and Walnut Grove Buddhist churches for inviting me today. Thank you so much. I am deeply honored. My pronouns are she, her, hey, you, the tall one. What's up, bro? Any of those, they work. I'll pretty much answer to pretty much anything. If you can't tell, I'm actually 6'2". So I'm trying to have the title as the tallest Shinshu minister in North America. I think I have it. It's hard to tell, but I'm so happy to be here today. And I'm going to read from the Koso Wasan, the Wasan on the Pure Land Masters. And after that, I'm going to have to ask some people to unmute because I'm going to have some questions and I'm going to need some answers from you. And so if you guys feel comfortable doing that, I like to give Dharma talks in a manner that is cooperative, because I think that we can all learn from each other in every way that we can. But first, let's start off with Gasho, and I'm going to read from the Koso Wasan. And this is the Hymns on the Pure Land Masters, number 109. To encounter a true teacher is difficult even among difficult things. There is no cause for endless turning and transmigration, greater than the hindrance of doubt. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. And as Reverend Shibata said, today is Gotan-e. It is Shinran Shonen's birthday. And so if you look up on, I don't know if you guys can see on Tri-State Denver Buddhist Temples on IGN, I am in the exact right place to not see the scroll of Shinran Shonen. But if you look at Reverend Shibata's screen, and if you look to your right-hand side, you'll see a picture of Shinran Shonen, the founder of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. And it is his birthday, and it's a really good day to contemplate on the gifts, not only that we've received, but like what it is Shinran, I think, is often trying to teach us. And so I like this Wasan from Shinran because it's in the Master Genku. It's in the Honen section of these Wasans. And I think Shinran often looks and writes not only to help spread the Nembutsu teachings, but also to show gratitude to his teacher, Honen. And, you know, we talk about, at least here at the Tri-State Denver Temple, we talk about Honen every once in a while, but he was Shinran's direct teacher. And he's one of these places where you find influence and like you can see him changing his path. Because for 20 years, Shinran spent his life on top of Mount Hiei, which if you've never been to Mount Hiei, it's this beautiful mountain on the west side of Kyoto. So if you look down from Mount Hiei, you can see Shiga, Lake Shiga. And it's this beautiful area where Tendai Buddhism, of course, being a form of esoteric Buddhism first coming from China, known as Tiantai when it first came from China, but Tendai Buddhism being this kind of buffet of Mahayan Buddhisms. And you have things like meditation practice, and you have the esoteric practices like you find in other schools of Buddhism, but you also have Nembutsu practice. And Shinran spent a lot of his time, we think, as a Nembutsu practitioner out Mount Hiei. So he may have actually done a Nembutsu practice where you walk around a statue of Amida for days, doing nothing but saying Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. And so he used to walk around the statue for days, and to the point where they say that they may have come in with basically a sawhorse that he could lean against and sleep on, so he wouldn't have to leave and stop saying the Nembutsu. And he did this for like almost 20 years till he gets to the point where he's like, I don't think this is right. And so he finds himself a true teacher, a great teacher, and that teacher is Honen Shonen. So this is where I need some help. I have my tablet here, and I'm going to write down some answers. So I want to hear, and we can do via chat, we can do it via, if you guys want to unmute, give me some qualities that you guys think makes the teacher. What kind of teacher do you want to follow? If you were taking a college class or a high school class or a post-grad class and you wanted to get a teacher, what qualities of teacher do you want? Like, what is the teacher that you want to see? So shout them out or type them out.
I'll say engaging.
Engaging, okay. So we got engaging. What else do we got? Patient.
I'll help you in the chat, Sensei.
Oh, thank you.
Looks like patient, compassionate, kind,
Okay.
interactive,
Ooh, that's a good one.
caring, inclusive, I always appreciate funny.
Funny.
Yeah.
It's
And
interesting.
I think, go ahead.
You guys are giving much different answers than TSDBT did this morning. Good storyteller. Oh, you guys are giving very engaging, very soft. I heard here we had smart, like PhD, like, like top of the field. That's the kind of answers we got at TSDBT. But so far, I've got engaging, I've got patient, compassionate, kind, interactive, caring, inclusive, and funny. Those are some really good qualities of a teacher, I think.
Also
so,
knowledgeable and humble too. Those are
knowledgeable and humble.
Yeah.
Humble's like, I will tell you in my previous career, and we'll talk about that later, knowledgeable and humble sometimes are very disproportionately proportional. A lot of the most knowledgeable people I knew in my previous field were some of the least humble, but sometimes it went the other way too. So humble and knowledgeable. Okay. I think it really depends on like what kind of teacher you're looking for too. So like if I wanted to go learn astrophysics, I think I maybe want the smartest astrophysicist out there. Or if I was going to go learn differential equations, or I wanted to study 13th century like post-classical Greek literature, I'd probably smartest person I could for that. I hope I don't ever want to study that. I don't know what circumstance where I'd want to learn that, but if I did. And so I think Shinran went out and found, when he was like, I think I need to find a teacher, he might have gone out and found one of the most knowledgeable and yet compassionate people out there, in Honen. And we see that a lot, like Shinran's view of Honen. Shinran even calls Honen like reincarnations of Bodhisattva and everything else. So he really sees them that way. But the reason I bring up this concept of teachers, I want to talk about another type of teacher we see out there, because Shinran says like how difficult it is to find a great and true teacher. And that's true. Like these are really difficult things, which is why now, almost 700 plus years, 800 years later, we still look to Shinran and like we consider ourselves students of Shinran. Like I am a student of Shinran. And so he is still my great teacher. But are there other teachers out there that we can find, other teachers in the world that help us like see and live this Nembutsu teaching and this Jodo Shinshu teaching? And so I want to tell you guys about my alter ego for a second. So I'm going to turn off my camera because I want to show you guys a picture. All right. So this is me. This is before I went to Tokodo, but this is me and my alter ego. So if you look, you can see behind me, that's a helicopter. and I am in a place called Northern Weld County, Colorado. And so this is right on the Colorado-Wyoming border. And I had just finished putting a patient in that helicopter because I am a 911 paramedic, and I am double board certified as both a tactical, which means like the kind of paramedic you see on a SWAT team, and as a flight critical care paramedic. And so I want to tell you a paramedic's story. So in 2000, about a teacher I found, so that we're going to tie all this together, about a great teacher I found one day. So in 2019, so this was the fall of 2019, prior to the great COVID pandemic, which I'm sure is what the history books are going to call this, I got a 911 call in a city called Fort Lupton in Colorado. And so this wasn't directly in Fort Lupton, it was out in the boonies. It was out west of Fort Lupton, in an area that used to be a very heavily Japanese American area. So Fort Lupton used to be mostly Japanese American people back in the teens and 20s, but now it's mostly diverse as the farmlands that they worked were sold off. And I went out to a farmhouse, and about 8-9 miles outside of town, off of dirt roads, kind of beat up dirt roads. And I get to this house and I see what looked like it used to be a beautiful farmhouse. So like this picture of a Rocky Mountain farmhouse. So like what would have been like wood slat with white and everything else, but you could see the paint peeling off. You could see the deck was sagging. You could see a dog running around outside that needed a haircut. The weeds were growing up really tall. The driveway was grown over, and the bar ditch, which we used to prevent water from running down the roads, was kind of worn over. So I had to run the ambulance through that. I basically caught a little bit of air. My partner screamed. It was very funny. But I get to the house, and we had been called out for suicidal ideations. And so I walk into this house, and in there I find a man in his 30s. All the lights are off. There's no light bulbs that are working, and he's sitting in this chair. And I go and I say, "Sir, why'd you call 911?" And at this moment, I'm a little intimidating. I'm 6'2". I have my big white uniform on with a badge on. I have a bulletproof vest on over it, radio on, and we had beat the police there. We were the only ones there. And he looks and he goes, "I don't understand why I'm living anymore." And I said, "I don't know. Why is that?" And so he proceeds to tell me a story. And this man had served in the United States Marine Corps for 6 years. He did a tour in Afghanistan and a tour in Iraq. And he came back and he had a very hard time living after being in these very high conflict areas. And he tells me, he goes, "I lost my wife. She doesn't want to be around me anymore. I lost my daughter. She doesn't want to be around me anymore." He goes, "Why do I keep breathing every single day?" And I said, "Okay, well, I mean," and this is an honest question. Like, I don't have an answer for him. He had come what's called like a moral injury. So he had to go out and do something for two competing moral systems, his personal moral system and that of the moral system of the organization he was part of, so the United States Marine Corps. And so for him, he was looking into this abyss he had a really hard time with. And so this gentleman looks at me, he goes, and he says, this is the key word: "Caitlin, I need help." He knew it was Caitlin because it was written in very large letters across my bulletproof vest. I said, "Okay." And he walks out to the ambulance, gets in the back. We load him up. We put seatbelts on him, just to chill. We didn't do anything medical for him. And I take him to a hospital called Longs Peak. So I had to skip a couple other hospitals because Longs Peak, A, has the best mental health facilities, and B, has the best soup. So they have a clam chowder. It's really good. And so we take him to Longs Peak, and I never see this guy again. So he never calls 911 again. I never end up back at his house. I drove by the house must have been 2021, and the house looked great. It had been painted, the deck looked better, the yard was mowed, the same dog was in the front yard. So I was like, oh, he did something great. So why is this man a great Buddhist teacher? So this man, this United States Marine, did what Shinran did also. He said, "I need help. I need help." He found that bottom and he said, "I need help." And so in that moment, he became this great teacher to me, because I looked at this and I said, this is the self-awareness that it takes within Jodo Shinshu. This is the self-awareness that Nembutsu practitioners go through as well, because it's really easy for us to have this great ego of greed and anger and ignorance and everything else and say, you know, I can do everything myself. I am strong. I am whatever. And if you think of this man, he was a Marine. He was a devil dog. He was like, oorah. He could have gone out and done everything himself. He ran through mud and everything else. He's seen the commercial, the leathernecks and how strong they are. But this man was self-aware enough to look himself in the mirror and take that immense amount of strength and to pull down the masks that we all live with every day and say, I need help. And so for me, when I think of this guy, I also think of him the same way that I think of as Shinran. Even though Shinran is this great learned man that knew many languages and spent much time on Mount Hiei and understood all the 80,000 Buddhist teachings, the commonality between both of them is finding that place to say, I need help. And I think that's what the Jodo Shinshu journey is us finding this moment and looking in the mirror and finding that time where we say, I need help. And so for us as Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, saying I need help and accepting that help and becoming part of that help is saying Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. It is responding to the calling of Amida to say, take refuge in me, find help in me. Stand in my shadow, stand in the light, come from me. And so that is my story of a great teacher that I met that didn't have any of these qualities, not a single one. I can tell you, he was a rough man. The actual conversations we had were very R-rated. But in the end, he was engaging with himself, patient with himself, compassionate with himself. He was kind to himself. I think he eventually was interactive with himself. He cared about himself. He was inclusive of the fact that he had these feelings. And he actually was a pretty funny dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie. He told some pretty racy jokes, because when I say we were out in the country, we were out in the country. It took 35 minutes to get to the hospital. So I had plenty of time to talk to him. And yeah, so, you know, I think one of the things that we can do when we're thinking about Gotan-e and Shinran Shonen and his birthday and everything else is also find people that we can find Shinran's teachings within as well, even if they are not Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, even if they don't look like us and they're not same groups as us or anything else, even if they're completely different type of people than us, we can still find reflections of the teachings everywhere. And so I want to close out the teaching part of this Dharma talk by once again reading from the Koso Wasan. And then I'm super happy to continue to talk with you guys afterwards, and I can tell you about my previous career if you want to hear. But join me in Gasho as we read the 109th Koso Wasan, the Hymns of the Pure Land Masters. To encounter a true teacher is difficult even among difficult things. There is no cause for endless turning and transmigration greater than the hindrance of doubt. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu.
Thank you, Caitlin Sensei. When I was listening to your Dharma message and thinking about even you as a teacher, I thought, oh, you're all of these wonderful things. You're a wonderful storyteller, I think, as maybe Chris Kubo mentioned in the chat that we might have missed, but so many of these wonderful things. And we're so fortunate to have you as our Dharma teacher today. And it's so refreshing for you to bring up the story of asking for help, because I think many times each and every one of us maybe hold back a little bit when we need help, especially even our mental health. And I believe May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so thank you so much for bringing that to our attention and just shedding some light on that. And especially looking at Shinran's words, Shinran's life, and of course, the gentleman that you had an opportunity to work with and to learn from as well. So thank you so much for being our wonderful teacher today. And of course, sharing the impact of that man who became your teacher as well. So thank you so much for your wonderful Dharma message. And of course, we welcome you to stay on if you have a little bit of time after the service so that our members can get to know you and then again, ask about Dharma message or your wonderful careers and future endeavors as well. So thank you so much, Sensei, for joining us. Okay, so we'll continue on. I believe we have one recitation or maybe one more gatha. Okay, so please join me in the singing of Namo Amida Butsu.
When life is fair and the sunlight gilds the day, when fortune smiles and the flowers adorn our way, oft let us pause with grateful hearts to say, Namo Amida Butsu. Even though our way leads 'neath a darkened sky, and to our loved ones pain and death draw nigh, our tears may flow, yet trustingly we cry, Namo Amida Butsu.
Okay, thank you everybody for joining me for the gatha, and we'll continue on with the recitation of our pledge. Please join me in Gasho. And again, this is written by the Monshu Kojun Otani, so the head priest of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism in Kyoto. Our pledge: breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Okay, so we're at that time of the service where we're going to have announcements. And I can't remember who's giving announcements today.
Okay, this is Tad.
Okay.
I have announcements. The temple-wide cleanup, Saturday, June 4th at 9 a.m. We are asking everyone to please come out and help clean the 2 kitchens and other areas, indoor and outdoor. Reverend Shibata's book club's next meeting is on May 25th at 6:30 p.m. Yaba Pizza Game Night is on Saturday, June 4th at 5 p.m. This event has been approved for in-person meeting. All temple members and friends are invited. No charge. You do not need to be a white Yaba member to participate. Please RSVP by May 28th. See the flyer in the karma for details. Okay, please join the Dharma School students and teachers in donating not new, but used and clean blankets, towels, and our dollars for the Delta Humane Society SPCA of San Joaquin County, the No Kill Shelter. Drop off all at the East gym entrance on June 12th from 12 to 1 p.m. We are now accepting raffle donations for the Buddhist Church of Stockton 2022 Bazaar. These items seem to be most popular. Store gift cards, new household products, wine, restaurant gift cards, just to name a few. You may drop them off at the church office Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Thank you in advance for your generosity. Sangha Club is continuing collection of aluminum cans and recyclable plastic bottles. Donations may be left by the carport area. Help keep recyclable bottles and cans out of the landfill while supporting one of our youth organizations. And remember to donate your service offering by mailing it into the church or donating through the church website. Are there any other announcements? If not, we truly thank you for attending today to share the Dharma. Remember, friends can view all our recorded services on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Dad. Okay, so thank you, everybody. I don't know if we have any new Dharma friends. I believe that Casey's family might be on. So we thank you again for joining us today. But if we do have new Dharma friends who are joining us for the first time today, please go ahead and unmute yourself if you'd like to introduce yourself, or you can say hello in the chat if you feel a little shy. Okay, so while we are possibly waiting for our new friends to say hello, I just wanted to thank you for joining us today again for this very special service. Of course, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to Reverend Caitlin Masher-Mace for taking time, of course, out of her very, very busy schedule to join us for your wonderful Dharma message. So again, Sensei, thank you so much for joining us. And Casey, thank you so much for joining us as well with your family and presenting Zelda for her very first Buddhist service today, and congratulations to your family. And I wanted to extend my appreciation always to Darlene and Charlie Bagshaw for your Zoom assistance, and of course Darlene for the beautiful slideshow for opening meditation. Thank you to all of the volunteers who assist us in keeping the inside and outside of the temple beautiful and clean. So thank you so much for your volunteering. And again, thank you to each and every one of you for taking time to join us for this very special service. So at this time, we'll say goodbye to all of our YouTube friends. So we'll